Hey guys, what's up? It's Samantha, and this is part 3 of my 2019-2020 planner flip-through series. So we are going to be covering the months of January through March in this video. If you are interested in watching parts 1 and 2 before you watch this one, I will have links in the description down below for all of the other parts of my planner flip through. That way you can check them all out. I'll be adding the link to part 4 once that one is out as well. Also, really quickly, if you aren't familiar, I do have links to all of the shops that I frequently use in the description down below. If the shop is still open and you can purchase from them, I will have all of the shops linked down below. But if you want to ask me a specific question about where a sticker is from, please feel free to ask me in the comments and I will do my best to answer for you. So if you watched my last part of the video, you know that I did my planner math a little incorrectly, and I didn't realize that the week of Thanksgiving was technically the first week of December in this planner. And so I purchased a couple extra Christmas kits, and I did decide to just use one of them for New Year's week, the first week in January. I just went with one that was a little less overtly Christmas. So this was a, magical Christmas kit. And I really like how this turned out with all of the gold foil. I kept it very white space, very simple. We didn't really do anything for New Year's. I was in a lot of pain this week. You can tell from all of this. I was really hurting, really fatigued, really struggling with lupus symptoms during this time period, which kind of sums up large swaths of my life over the past 2 years. So this was when I was binge reading first and second era of Mistborn, and I finished Mistborn Era 1 on Sunday evening, and it was an emotional roller coaster. I sobbed at the end of Hero of Ages. I was a complete and total disaster because it was just an emotional trip, but I really like how this turned out. I love blue and navy in kits. I like navy and red together, so, just a really great color combination for me. And then getting into, I guess, more wintry kits. This, I think, was also technically a Christmas kit, but it was easier to make it a generic winter kit. Again, pulled in copper foil. I've mentioned how much I've fallen in love with copper foil this year. Very shiny. Once again, my favorite Simply Gilded washi that's making an appearance once more. But I kind of kept out the more Christmassy elements of this and made it just more like a cozy winter vibes spread. There are some presents kind of interspersed throughout here, but it's not screaming Christmas, it just is like a winter cozy kit. I really like how this turned out. I was not feeling great this week, and I was limping very visibly, and there was just a coworker who would not mind his own business and kept asking inappropriate questions about my health and was kind of hounding me for a couple days, asking if I had tried fasting or why I wasn't vegan, that if I was vegan, there's no possible way I could have, an autoimmune disorder. It was just like really inappropriate, especially at work, and I couldn't just leave the building. It wouldn't go away, and I was like, can you please stop? Over and over and over again. And I'm, if you ever hear someone has an autoimmune disease, do not suggest to them a diet unless you know this person really well and they are asking you specifically for diet advice. Just don't do it. Don't do it. No one wants to hear about how fasting is going to cure them. Don't do it. Okay? Okay. So, that happened, and now I just avoid that person like the plague. So, and then this was the week of our 5-year wedding anniversary, and this was a lot of fun. I used over-the-top heart hollow headers on this, which are a little extra, and I did some planner engineering puzzle work there to cut out the brunette guy with the redhead girl to make that couple box look like us. And I really like how it turned out. I'm glad we got married in January because it gives things to get excited about in January, We went to Melting Pot for our anniversary dinner. We usually go for my birthday and our anniversary every year, so that was a lot of fun. Slept in. You always have to sleep off the Melting Pot because you're so full at the end of it. You just have to sleep for 12 hours so your body can like process the cheese and all of the deliciousness, the chocolate, everything. So that was great. Oh, this was like a good day. I drove to Columbus. I got my hair done. I like ran some errands while I was at Columbus, in Columbus, because the mall situation there, it was right next to where I got my hair done, so it was easier to do returns there instead of driving up to Beechwood in Cleveland, which is where the Madewell is on the side of Cleveland. You know, it was just easier to do it while I was there. So a very productive day. Came home, cleaned, decluttered. It was like a really productive day, and I felt good, which was nice because I'd been having a lot of lupus pain, and I was afraid that especially sometimes driving when I'm having a lot of joint pain, can be difficult, or I'm really stiff and sore and it's hard for me to move after I get out of the car. So I was glad. I felt really good that day, and it was refreshing to have energy. I specifically remember that day. I felt very good. And then I used this kit again. This is one of my favorite kits of all time. It's blue, it's books, it's winter, it's all of my favorite things in a nutshell. I was sick this week, which sucked. I had some upper respiratory thing. It could have just been lupus. I don't know. I just get high fevers for no reason all the time. That's just how I do. So I was, not feeling great in here. Don't really know that anything else wild and crazy happened, but I used a ton of silver foil, and it's very pretty. So that's, even though there's some really crappy weeks in this planner where I was not feeling good, I love how it all turned out with the foil, and there's some really gorgeous spreads with shitty content, but this is just so pretty. I love this. Like, I'm looking at it in the viewfinder and I'm just like, oh, I'm not over how much I love this spread. It's so shiny. I love shiny so much. I love how this turned out. I'm not a sports person, but I loved this kit so much. I ended up using these scraps to do a memory keeping spread in my Aura Estelle cloud. So I do have a video up for that if you'd like to check it out. I did some planner engineering here to do these tall boxes, have them flip up like this. Really love how this turned out. The hollow foil, and this washi from Simply Gilded, I think was a collab with, I'm gonna say like Southwest Planners or something like that. I saw something about it on Instagram and ended up pre-ordering it. It was sold through them, not through Simply Gilded. I used bougie boxes. I loved the hollow. This was the weekend of our family reading festival at work, which is always just a lot, and I was really over it by the end of the day. It happens. I went to bed very early that night. We were watching The Boys a bunch this week, which is a really good show, by the way. I want to read the graphic novels. I actually had them all checked out before all the quarantine stuff, and then I was like, I'm not going to have time to read these. I'm going to return them, and I'll get them out in a couple more weeks, and then everything shut down. So I've not read The Boys yet, but I do want to read The Boys because I loved the TV show so much, and the second season's coming out soon, which I'm very excited about. This was a Beauty and the Beast kind of inspired kit, which I liked. It's not my favorite kit in the whole wide world. It's very dark. I also don't know that I love that bottom washi. It's maybe a little too red with this. Not my favorite spread in the whole wide world. Not bad, just not my favorite, I also had a bunch of these heart overlay headers, which are maybe too busy for my taste, but I was trying to use them because I bought them. Just bunch of choices that weren't my favorite choices, but we all make mistakes. It's okay. It's not bad. It's just not my favorite. That's all right. Ooh, and then I love the spread so much. This was Valentine's Day, and I used this. I feel like the hearts worked for this hot pink, sparkly, confetti, chunky glitter, hollow thing going on. I love it so much. I loved the colors of this. I loved the pops of yellow. I pulled in this pink Simply Gilded foiled like reverse bow. I did pull in a little bit of silver stuff. I used some Clever Gal Crafts hearts. I tried to pull in some more yellow things because I really liked the pops of yellow in here. I feel like having a pop of color that's different from everything else just can make a spread really, I almost just said pop again. Shine, just adds a little, it zhuzhes it up, So I really liked the yellow pops in here. And then this was the weekend I got really sick. So I don't know if I had the flu. This is around the time it could have been COVID. I haven't had an antibody test. This is the sickest I've ever been as an adult. I had a super high fever. I couldn't breathe. I was utterly miserable for over a week. I was so sick. we had my nephew's baptism this weekend. I went. I told them I was sick. They still wanted me to come. I went and then came home and crashed, and I do not remember pretty much any of this week. You can see I just have big arrows of washi. I sat on my sofa all day, every day. I was so sick. All I ate were tangerines this entire week. Tangerines and tea. I had no appetite. I couldn't taste anything. I was just alternating Tylenol and Advil because my fever wouldn't go down. I didn't even make the bed a couple of the days, which like tells you something. I'm a person that even when my lupus is super bad, I always make my bed. And I did not make my bed. And I read adult romance books on my Kindle, and I just sat on the sofa, and that's all I did this whole week. I did have to do laundry because I was out of pajamas, and I remember I was so miserable trying to get that load of laundry in, and I was just not having it. And then I got my period too on top of it. Like, why? Why did that have to happen? I don't know. And then Friday, I did have to go to work because if you miss more than 4 days in a row of work, you have to get a doctor's note to go back. So I was gonna just go back on Friday. I was feeling better. My fever was gone, but I wasn't feeling great. Like I could have just stayed home on Friday probably, but my car battery died. So I had to wait for Joe to come home at lunch to jump my car. So I was only at work for the afternoon. So I was just on desk from 2 to 6. And then Saturday, I remember I woke up, I still wasn't feeling great this weekend, but I woke up feeling substantially better on Saturday. And it was like the platonic ideal of a good weekend day. Like I woke up, I had gone to bed early, so I woke up early, I had my coffee, I read, Joe went and got us Taco Bell breakfast. I had my whole house cleaned and all of my laundry done by noon. Joe and I did, which was like the house just felt so dirty because I'd been like sick all week and I hadn't, and whenever I'm sick, like I just want to wash and clean everything when I'm finally feeling better. So just everything feels just germy, and I don't know if I'm the only person, but Joe and I like got to like spend some couple time together. I made cookies, which were delicious, and then we watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I got a ton of chores done. I made a good dinner. I watched wine. I think Reagan uploaded a reading vlog. I was, which is like my favorite YouTuber. I was reading my arc of Anna Kay. And then I like went to bed early. It was just like everything, and the house was so clean, and it was sunny out, which in the winter in Ohio does not happen very often. It was a fantastic day. And then Sunday was just, like a chill day. I organized my desk, I planned. It must have been warm this weekend because I do remember it being sunny on Saturday because Joe and I went for a walk. Pizza for dinner, chill out, have a good time. And then getting into March, I used this awesome, beautiful, gorgeous kit from Scribble Prints Co., which once again proves I think I just really like orange, and I've been in denial about liking orange. I love how this one turned out. I used this really beautiful hot gold hollow foil, like glittery hollow. It's so extra and so beautiful. I think I used scraps of this kit in my planner, my memory keeping planner as well. I just really loved how bright and vibrant and beautiful this was, and it had some awesome fashion girls. It had a bunch of extra add-ons, so I had a ton of full boxes for this kit, so it was easy to do a second spread with it. I don't particularly remember anything. Oh, we went on a date night, and this was like our last date night. We didn't know, but like the last time we ate out, because 2-3 weeks later, shit hit the fan and everything shut down. So that was fun. And then this was my Slytherin week. I did do mixed foils with this. I did gold and silver. I really like how this turned out. There was a J. Crew Plans and Rose Colored Days collab thing that I still had stuff from because I bought a bunch of those in different foils. I bought a bunch of silver because whenever I do a Slytherin week, I've always done silver. We went on a double date with friends this night. We had book talks. I love doing book talks. This was such a great day. I was in such a good mood afterwards. I love talking about books with people, trying to convince people to pick up a book. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world. It was like my professional equivalent of Christmas morning, having 35 7th graders who were just begging me to recommend them books. It was the best 2 hours of my life. It was awesome. And then it was over. And so I was like in this amazing mood. And then it was like that feeling when Christmas morning is over and there's like no more gifts to open. And I was just like, oh, I want to go back and do that all over again. Like it was so much fun. And I don't know. I wish I could just do book talks all the time. It's my favorite thing to do. That's part of my job, which is why I've been talking about books so much here on YouTube, because I want to do it more, and I hate that I don't get to do it more often professionally. So I can create that opportunity for myself. So then this week was the week in March where everything kind of started to go to crap. Stuff started to get worse in Ohio and just across the country with pandemic stuff. It was a week. I was very frustrated because work was acting like we were not going to close under any circumstances, though we do know at this point that work did close and I was off of work for quite a while, but I was very frustrated by everything that was going on. You can tell by all of the witches, which we'll just zoom in so you can see them, and my language that was used. I was not thrilled with what was going on. You know, all in all, not great, but they did decide on Saturday that work was going to close, and, you know, I survived. It was good. I also made the decision, I texted my boss, because I wasn't sure, you know, like what was going on and stuff. I chose to use vacation time or sick time to not be at work because we didn't close, which didn't make sense to me. Every other like library system in the area either closed Friday or Saturday. They announced it and they were just like, okay, we're closed now. There's not going to be any late fines. Just keep your stuff. Give it back to us when we reopen. We stayed open through Tuesday because some of our branches were polling locations, which ended up not even being a factor because Ohio's primaries got moved so that people could do mail-in ballots because they didn't want large groups of people congregating to do voting. This was the week that I was home for the first time. So this was also the week of St. Patrick's Day. I love this spread. I love this spread so much. I use this really beautiful lime green glittery wiggle from Scribble Prints Co. That's just absolutely gorgeous. I should have bought more of it than I did. I think I got 3. I should have bought more because I've burned through the scripts. I wish there were more scripts or that there were duplicates of some of the scripts on that sheet. Definitely some that I use multiple times a week and some that I rarely use any of the weeks. I put a day extender on every single day because this is when I was in super productive mode. So this is before we got furloughed. So I was still doing some work from home stuff. I was helping our teen collection development person do book lists on our Overdrive, updating the book list, which was something I had started doing with her before, but since we shifted to all ebooks, that became a priority. It was a lot of fun. It was honestly my dream job. I was working part-time from home, only doing book lists. It was great. I loved it. Like I was working out, I was cooking, my house was so clean. It was great. The first few weeks of this were great. I feel like there were a lot of people feeling the same way. It was great at the beginning, and then by the end it was just like, okay, I've been in my pajamas for 2 months, so. And then this was just a spread. I wanted something fun and happy and light to use, so I used this kind of fairy tale inspired kit. I really like how it turned out. I love these colors, even though they're more April colors, what I think of as April colors still, that blue and purple. But I really like this, and I used this reverse bow Simply Gilded washi, which is super pretty. We FaceTimed with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and my nephew, and cleaned the inside of my oven for the first time. I know, I clean the outside of my oven all the time, but I ended up doing it twice in one day because it was so bad. But I bought that oven spray stuff. I'm like, well, if I'm gonna be home, I might as well clean my oven, and I did. It was very clean. I need to do it again. But yeah, so this is, ooh, I didn't check off that unload. I definitely unloaded the dishwasher. We're gonna check that off right now. So this was the last spread in this quarter of my planner. And, you know, it was good. Oh, this is also when I found out my mom and dad were moving back. So, you know, good news. Good news in the middle of everything else. Gotta celebrate the little victories. But yeah, so this is the last spread in this quarter of the planner. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really love doing these flip throughs and kind of just revisiting all of the moments. This feels like this was only a couple weeks ago, but this has been like 3.5 months at this point. Over 3.5 months, which is wild. This whole time at home flew by. It went so fast. We did get Animal Crossing sometime in here, yeah. Sorry, this is when we got Animal Crossing, so this is when we started playing Animal Crossing. I don't know. It went by so fast. I thought I was going to do so many things, and then I did none of them. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will have part 4 up shortly, and I will talk to you guys in that one. Bye!